Ladies and gentlemen, making their way to the microphones, it's Kenny. It's Jack. It's the Rock and Roll Up Podcast. Hello, mate.
Hello.
My name's Jack.
My name's Kenny.
Welcome to Rock and Roll
Roll
Up
Up
Podcast.
Podcast.
Double jingle. What are we doing today?
Well, this is a new episode.
Feature.
First ever Megaphone Mondays.
It's just another Megaphone Monday.
Another jingle.
Yeah. one of mine.
Why don't you explain what Megaphone Monday is in a short snippet?
Megaphone Monday. We stand upon our metaphorical soapbox and scream controversial, unpopular, divisive opinions right into your ear holes. Oh,
Get that.
Right like that.
Let's get right into it.
We're talking controversial, yeah? We want you to get involved, give us your opinions, say you're wrong, say you're right, say we want to fight. I did a rhyme.
Yeah, at Rock Roll Up Pod on Twitter.
Yeah. Let's get right into it. Hit me with a controversial opinion.
Here we go. First controversial opinion for
I
you.
want to hear you. Come on.
Since Kurt Cobain died in 1994,
R.I.P.
biggest, indeed,
I swear I don't have a gun. You did.
the biggest rock star in popular culture is Kanye West.
Oh, he's dropped the mic. Go on.
Okay, Kanye
You've
West,
got the floor.
huge megastar, longevity in his career.
Yep.
Let's think about what a rock star is.
Yeah, what is a rock star, first of all?
So, I mean, it's a little bit cliched, but controversial,
Go on. Yeah, being controversial, yeah.
popular,
Yep.
divisive.
Yep.
Um,
Rock and roll lifestyle,
yes.
as in sex, drugs, rock and roll.
Yeah, and something else that I would, I mean, it's going to be another something that people not like, but talking of Donald Trump and Kanye West with their latest debacle,
Yeah.
Kanye West brings up a very interesting thing about Trump, which I think a lot of people can't quantify, and that's what he calls dragon energy.
Go on.
And
Isn't that something out of Game of Thrones?
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Can't talk about that these
Don't
days.
talk about that rubbish thing. Dragon energy, I think, it's basically, I would say, an aura,
Okay.
a
yeah,
kind of
a
a drive, a kind of, and I think,
When they walk into a room, they got something.
yeah, and Kanye says that Trump has that, which
was because he's a reptilian overlord.
indeed,
We all know that.
we all know that. Illuminati confirmed.
Well, Kanye's right up there, isn't he?
Yeah, but whether you like it or not, I mean, Trump has it, I'm sure, and I would say Kanye has it, and every
So you're saying Trump is the biggest rock star since Kurt Cobain?
yes, and I think you think of all the greatest rock stars pre '94, Axl Rose,
Yeah, Freddie.
Freddie,
Yeah.
he had an aura, Cobain.
So a presence is
Yes.
the main
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Being controversial.
Yeah,
What about body of work? Does
Yeah.
he have a rock star's body of work?
I think he probably does. It's divisive. It's
Does it push the boundaries?
it's often pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
He's authentic with beats and rhymes, and I think
He dyed his hair that one time.
yeah.
That's a bit weird.
and I suppose we associate rock stars with struggle, and I think it's fair to say
Well, he has struggled, yeah.
Kanye has struggled. His latest album, Yay, is
Yay.
in my opinion a real return to form, and really talks about his bipolar issues.
Yeah, addressing mental health is a big thing, yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
I would just say on the topic of rock star,
Yeah.
do you need to play rock music?
Well, in my opinion, no.
So rock star is a general term for
I think
musical
yeah.
icon.
I think it started like that.
Or is it more the attitude that it carries with it? The
Yes.
connotation that the word rock star carries with it?
I think it started associated with rock, but you don't. It's become kind of part of the zeitgeist, isn't it? You don't. Hip hop star or country star doesn't carry the weight of rock star. I think a rock star can actually be sort of anyone within the arts.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can't.
An actor, maybe?
I can't deny that. Yeah. They kind of have that rock star aura, mentality, body of work. What about when he did Bohemian Rhapsody and butchered it?
Yeah, but
That wasn't very rock starry.
no, it is though, isn't it?
Is it?
It's divisive. He's so self-believing with that dragon energy. He kind of
Dragon Energy.
whether you like it or
Dragon
not.
Energy Limited.
It's what is it? Is it
I'm struggling to find an energy provider. Who do you use?
well, you know what? I use Dragon Energy, sponsored by Donald Trump and Kanye
Dragon
West.
Energy. Tell me more.
Well, what we do is, that those issues with climate change,
All that. Yeah.
and CO2,
Yeah.
and we think hydro,
Mm.
we think electric.
Mm.
Let me stop you there, sir.
I'm on a CO2 diet. A CO2. I heat it. Get it?
You hate,
I heat it because it sounds like eat it.
yeah. I CO2. I delete it from my iTunes.
Yeah. Mm. I'm on O2 actually.
Oh yeah,
I've had real trouble with my 4G lately.
that's rubbish.
I know. I might go into the. You went to the shop, didn't you? And said that,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
fixed your phone immediately and
They
made it
did.
brilliant.
I did, yeah.
I need to do that.
Do that.
All right. I'll bring some of that dragon energy.
Yeah.
All right.
So, have you got any?
Well, I have made up a list of rock stars that perhaps could compete with Kanye. Although looking
Okay.
through them, I don't really think they can.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna direct you to someone who you've already mentioned, Kurt Cobain, someone who is also from that very band Nirvana, Dave Grohl.
That's a very good shout, isn't
Now
it?
that's a different kind of rock star in the sense that is sort of a body of work, and
Yeah.
that's a lot more from
And
a band perspective. Granted,
Mm.
does he have that kind of rock star? I think he does have a presence
He
about
has
him,
an aura for sure.
but does he have that kind of global kind of reach that someone like Kanye does? I don't know. I don't know that he
I
does.
think another sort of opinion you could have is even that hip hop and rap is producing many more rock stars in the last 20 years than rock has done anyway.
There's a star power attached to hip hop that rock
Yeah.
has somewhat lost. You could look at your Gallaghers and your
Gallagher's are a good one.
Bonos. I know
Yeah.
obviously they're 80s as well, and
Yeah.
looking into metal, Metallica or
I
James
don't think-
Hetfield or whatever.
I
But
don't think it helps in the reduction of popularity of rock in the charts.
I think that might have played a part actually. The decline of guitar-led popular music in the mainstream, of course, it's still there, but plays into the lack of rock stars. Maybe if hip hop was still very much underground and rock was still at the forefront, we would say there's 20 rock stars. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Let me talk about someone like Amy Winehouse then.
Yeah, she's a great shout.
Again, wasn't a rock performer as such.
Yeah.
There is, of course, the argument that dying, as sad as it is, maybe dying young, propels you into that musical legendary
The 27
status.
Club.
Yeah, of course, we all know about that.
Yeah.
Great body of work, very divisive again, very
Yeah.
drug fueled, a lot of struggle. So it kind of covers all the parts that
There's one that
you
maybe you could say, but perhaps not since the 90s. Someone
Yeah.
like David Bowie, more established.
that's the thing.
But
He was way, yeah.
Now, I suppose he's passed away as well.
If we're talking about newly made rock
It's
stars,
newly, since 94,
it is
a
hard
newly made rock star. One person who
It's difficult, isn't it?
I would say, actually no, scrap everything I've said.
Go on.
It's
he's
it's,
he's changed his mind.
it's Tupac.
Okay.
The most
Was that inspired by me saying someone that had passed away? Gives them that extra.
He's there's a great YouTube channel, Hip Hop DX.
Oh yeah. Big time.
Who talk about top 5 rappers and this top 5 alive and this thing within the hip hop culture, and they made a video called "Why Tupac is Bigger Than Your Top 5."
Good.
And
good.
talk about his
Sounds like something we'd say.
again, his aura, his
Well, he did have
his revolutionary. I mean, he was
sort of spiritual significance.
he was
someone like
almost
Tupac.
you know,
He's like a hip hop martyr, though, isn't he?
yeah. Tupac for president, I think, would have been fairly likely.
It would have been, well, going to be The Rock now, mate. It's going to be The Rock.
The Rock, so. The Rock. Tupac and The Rock very much on the same level.
Very similar career paths.
Yeah, but Tupac would be...
terrible wrestler, though. The Rock.
What? Tupac was a great wrestler. Yeah. Tupac, but yeah, Kanye West. Hit it up in the comments. Thoughts on Kanye West?
It. Yeah, I'm thinking of more, but there's just no one that has that wide-reaching kind of appeal.
The Gallaghers probably from rock are the best, but again, that's 95.
Yeah,
that's 96. That's like 2 years after. Okay,
even if you think the last 5 years,
actual
even 10. Real rock stars that will kind of stamp their musical heritage on the industry. I just can't think
they're
of
a great rock acts.
Oh, amazing.
I mean, someone like someone who I saw recently, the Struts.
Yeah, they're
lead singer of the Struts. Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, he's like Freddie Bowie, Mark Bolan, mixed in a big mixing pot and put out on stage. He's unreal.
Incredible, but is he a rock star?
Well, he's a rock star, but on a very small scale.
Another thing about the rock star connotation is that it's very manufactured these days, isn't it? So the people might want a rock star appeal, but actually, when they go back to their hotel, they're just warming down their voice and having some ginger and going to bed.
A little bit.
They're not trashing the hotel.
A ginger tea.
It's a lot more professional. Let's face it. Obviously, there's still stuff that goes on, but there's wheels of the machine now that just weren't there even 20 years ago.
We're not talking Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses kind of levels.
I think that age is kind of gone. Yeah, it's changed.
I do.
Well, very interesting points.
Thank you.
Thank you
for sharing that.
Thank you.
Why don't you share another
share
equally as interesting? Something about Cher, please.
Cher.
Question is, do you believe in love after life or life after love?
Sorry, love after life. I would hope so.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to share with you something special.
Go on.
I haven't quite got the title for this, but let me talk through the title. As you can hear me mind working.
Go on. The cogs are turning.
This is more in defence of Christmas number ones. I believe that obtaining a Christmas number one is far more lucrative and far more important than getting a general number one, if that makes sense.
Even today.
So I like Christmas. I'm putting it out
there.
I'm a Mr. Christmas.
If you don't celebrate Christmas, fair enough, but we bloody do, and we love it.
And I just think that Christmas music has been very important to me.
Wonderful time.
Here he is.
Of the year.
Listen to those pipes. Tinselitis. Hey? Haven't I said that on this podcast before?
Probably. We're good in the teens now, so things will start coming up.
The same old stuff, baby. Yeah. Christmas music's always been very important to me. It is a soundtrack. It's linked with nostalgia, of course. Basically, Christmas music is nostalgia.
It's pure. It's wrapped up.
Exactly.
Nostalgia.
And I think that there's a strange connotation with Christmas music now where it's sort of scoffed at a little bit when you're writing new Christmas music. So the likes of Sia, Gwen Stefani, etc., they do have new Christmas albums and they're fine, but they don't do that well. And there's no new Christmas classics, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So we're relying on the old Christmas classics because we're relying on nostalgia. But I think I sort of want to rescue the idea of Christmas number ones.
How great is that?
I want to save them. Because the effect that they have on popular culture, I think far outweighs just a general throwaway number one. Because we do live in a little bit of a throwaway kind of society, which
we're going to get on
to later on, and it does affect Christmas number ones. I think there's a fear perhaps of getting an artist to record a Christmas song for fear of it being corny or for fear of it not selling or not streaming.
Because you tend to see those Christmas number ones, it's just Michael Bublé or
but you see, the difference is they're sort of their cover albums with a couple of originals. That's the difference. They're relying on nostalgia as well to push their albums. I sort of want to rescue the idea that Christmas number ones, they're not dead. They do big business. I mean, for example, Merry Christmas, Everybody by Slade.
Slade, yeah.
makes over 1 million every Christmas. Split between Noddy and the other writer. I can't remember who it was. Maybe Dave.
Dave.
So what could have been Dave? Don't know. 500 grand each.
Wow.
That does probably a good few 100,000 streams every Christmas.
Yeah.
Could be pushing into.
Think about the radio
the
TV play of that as
plus
well.
the radio and TV syncs, the adverts, blah 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 blah, etc. etc. It's lucrative.
Yeah.
That is far more lucrative than a throwaway, Dua Lipa #1 for 3 weeks.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
If you're getting that played over and over and over again, it gets absorbed by popular
Ironically,
culture.
the lyrics to I think a modern classic, which is the what's her name?
Geraldine McQueen.
Yeah, which is Peter Kay's over and over and over
very,
again.
Very well written Christmas song.
Really good, yeah.
I really think that it's, especially as a writer myself, the mark of a good writer. I don't think you can beat getting a Christmas #1. I just don't think you can.
I think it's a great. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm well on board with this point.
I just think that, I don't know, man.
It's just a great thing to have.
It's a great thing to have to kind of add to the kind of the Christmas tapestry, as it were, of some amazing Christmas #1s. To say that
Can you imagine a Christmas tapestry?
I would love that. That'd be brilliant.
I'd have one up all year.
I would. Wish it could be Christmas every day.
Yeah,
that's one of mine.
Yeah,
I want to rescue this idea that it's cringy. That's sort of my point, in a sense, is that don't scoff at Christmas music, because everybody loves it. It's nostalgia, it's childhood, it's warm, it's happy, it's escapism,
it's innocence.
It's innocence, and I don't want that to get ruined by just this commercial X Factor every year. Simon Cowell pushing out his acts, and it kind of. I want Christmas songs about Christmas that warm me little cockles.
What are you?
So
what are you? I would say a couple of things. One,
go on.
Modern classics are few and far between, but there are a few.
I would say
The Darkness,
the last classic. When I say classic, I mean playlisted for years to come. I would say is "Don't Let the Bells End" by The Darkness.
Because
after that was really the end of the modern Christmas classic.
That Geraldine McQueen song is actually not that popular, although
it's a parody,
I love
and it's funny and it's great, but that doesn't find its way really onto collections and things like that. It does get a bit of radio play.
There was that Bieber one with Mariah Carey, wasn't there? I mean, very weird video, because there was kind of the sexual kind of feeling. No. Bieber was a child.
Oh, goodness. No, that's not nice.
Horrid.
Well, Mariah obviously did very well with regards to Christmas songs as well, didn't she? But it's just, I just want to rescue this idea. That's all I'm asking.
The next thing I'd ask is...
yes, I'll marry you.
Oh, I can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember.
I can anticipate what you were going to ask.
Go on.
What's next for Christmas #1s?
Go on.
Something like that.
Yeah, fine.
Through my research, I've established that nothing's really going to change.
Oh.
There's no real...
So ignore the last 10 minutes.
I know. It's kind of sad that because it's so intrinsically linked with nostalgia, the same stuff will keep getting played, because not only is it Christmassy and you remember, walking down there in your pajamas and listening to Shakin' Stevens, but they're just good songs.
Right.
They're just good songs. And as the years have progressed, good Christmas songwriting has unfortunately fell by the wayside. So not only is it linked with nostalgia, but they're just good songs.
Yeah, they are.
That way they'll get played and played and played. And I think labels are a little bit scared of writing anything new. Of kind of pushing that what's deemed a little bit cringy, perhaps.
Yeah.
Except me. I'm coming at you with the Christmas #1.
Sorry, I know what I was going to ask.
Come on.
What are your thoughts on the kind of the anti-X-Files? The
anti-X-Files?
What are your thoughts on the movement against that there are aliens in the galaxy? What are your thoughts on the anti-X Factor kind of sentiment in, especially, I'm not sure if it happens in the US, but in the UK, where we, as a collective, have got things like Rage Against the Machine to #1 at Christmas?
I believe that shows that there is a desire for a traditional Christmas #1. Traditional meaning, that Christmas one still has meaning. Otherwise, not enough people would have.
Because it's like, we're not going to allow this
against it. We're not going to allow. There's a sacredness.
Yeah.
You could argue it's perhaps religious, it's perhaps nostalgic, it's perhaps social and culturally motivated.
Yeah.
There is something sacred about a Christmas number one.
We're not just going to let anything be it.
And that was that kind of reactionary kind of...
it's kind of parody, isn't it?
It is.
If you're going to let any old shit,
we'll decide
fine, we'll have Rage Against the Machine.
And the fact that there is a rebellion against something so commercialised and so capitalist, that tells me anyway that there is still something so special. Even in the generations now, there's still something so special about a Christmas number one. And I think writers should really push for that. Label should really push for that.
Okay.
Because
I can
it
vibe with
means
that.
something. And I think we live in a bit of a difficult age. It's a little bit sad sometimes.
Yeah.
I want a happy song, man. I want a happy Christmas song.
I can feel that.
That's all I want. All I want for Christmas.
Well,
Christmas number one.
I'm going to take that and I'm going to ding. I'm going to agree.
We're going to ding it.
Hit it up in the comments. Thoughts on?
If you agree, write "Ding Dong Merrily on High."
That'd be great. If you disagree, write "Bar Humbug."
That's very good. New feature.
Yeah,
we'll do Christmas features every week from now on.
Yeah,
I think so, mate. I think so. I feel all Christmassy now.
That's a good one.
I feel all Christmassy now.
Yeah, and it's May.
Yeah.
May I lay another at your door?
Oh my lord! Go on.
My second is that modern album lengths are ruining the concept of an album.
Go on.
So you will see anytime on Spotify a new mainstream album comes out, and for some reason, well, there is a reason why there seems to be...
Let the reason be love.
18,
as Boyzone said. 19
tracks.
Okay.
And we seem to be, from things I've heard and read, that this is to do with the album has been replaced by the playlist. So
are we talking band albums or general pop artist albums?
Well, take, for example... someone like Post Malone, who I quite like.
Yeah.
He's kind of a newish hip hop artist who's fusing together guitar, kind of rock,
he's actually quite a good
country,
guitarist,
and hip hop and singing, and it's quite. Whether you like it or not, you can't deny that it's fairly forward thinking. He's trying to change the game up a little bit.
He does look like he fell into a tattoo gun, but
he did, yeah. That'd be painful, wouldn't it?
Oh,
can you imagine that?
Oh no.
And his second album, I think, was 18 tracks long, and
that's just like a Prince album. That's what that is. A double album.
Just trim the fat.
So what do you think the reasoning is behind that?
Well, I think it's you have to stream. Your streaming numbers have to be quite high to make money.
Yeah, well, nobody really makes money from streaming. It's mental.
So the more tracks you have on playlists, the more chance you have.
It's a playlist issue.
And I think it's more as well, the more shit you throw at something's bound to stick.
It is, but I would argue that writers, you're only as good as your last hit. So if there is 18 tracks, they want 18 singles. But you're saying... say 6 of them ain't no good.
Of 18, yeah, I mean...
So do you think they actually are including stuff that isn't...
I think they know it isn't...
that good, which is interesting.
I think
that goes against what a lot of writers will have you believe.
I think it's cuts that were... They would order... 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they would have been left on the floor and released as a deluxe
bonus
a bonus tracks or something. I just
that is reflective of our culture though, isn't it? Is that we need as much content as possible, so we will throw it out
something there. will become popular.
Interesting.
And I think that an album these days, and not only these days, commonly opens with 3 fantastic songs.
Yeah, you normally lead with your strongest, sure.
And by track 18, it's just drivel.
It is difficult,
and especially in this kind of homogenized hip hop trap beat era, where if you have 18 tracks, there's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 that just sound the same.
Well, this is another thing. Is it creative? Linking to what I'm going to say later on. Creativity is it ain't great at the moment. So and
also, it's it also ruins the idea of an album as a concept.
So because you quite like listening to albums, say, back to back.
Yeah, an album is a journey of an artist.
Yeah.
You know, there are longer albums that are great, you know, going older, things like The Wall, going newer, things like Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of tracks on that.
Ever pimped a butterfly?
I'll Pimp Your Butterfly.
Whoa, sugar, baby. No, butterflies taste with their feet. Did you know that?
What a fact that
Everything
is.
tastes a bit cheesy. Hey?
A little bit smelly.
That's one of mine.
Yeah, something like that really takes you through. You know, I love a concept album, and you can't have a concept album where it doesn't have the album doesn't have a distinct journey or flavour.
And it needs to, every song needs to be of equal value, really, doesn't it? It needs to be as good, or, you know, it needs to exist parallel to the rest of the songs on the album. It can't stand out for being bad.
You can't try and make 18 tracks of bangers, because that isn't going to make a good album.
It's too long. It's too long.
But again, it's the death of listening to a whole album.
The thing is, an album is sort of now a collection of singles instead of it being 2 or 3 lead singles and some good album tracks. It's very interesting that the way that things have changed, and like you said, streaming numbers, download numbers. You know, will Post Malone do all 18 of those songs live, or will he do 6 of them?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's picking those 6 because presumably they're the best 6.
Yeah,
it's very interesting. It is. It's a shame. It's just, there's no way I can contradict it, really. It's just, a lot of bands are doing it as well. You know, they're trying to get as much content out there as possible. I think perhaps there is a lack of quality control sometimes. Yeah. Especially when artists get a lot of free, no, they don't always, but once they make it, they get a bit of free reign. And when there's no one reining them in, sometimes some stuff slips through the net. There are a lot of pop acts that are just releasing single after single. Ed Sheeran is a massive proponent of that. He'll release single, then he'll release the album with all the singles on, which goes against anything because no one's going to buy it because you've already heard them for a year. Yeah. But it's almost formulaic at that point.
Yeah, I think to finish, I would say if you can't do it in 10 songs, you shouldn't be bloody doing it.
Yeah. All killer, no filler.
Indeed.
Yeah. I mean, it's similar to the Christmas number ones in that there's something special about the idea of an album. Yeah. And unfortunately that, as well as Christmas and things, is getting a little bit muddied, a little bit lost, which is a shame.
Hit it up in the comments, thoughts on that. We'd love to hear a modern album that is a journey that's from the mainstream.
Yeah, back-to-back mainstream album. There's amazing metal albums and rock albums. Of course, this doesn't really even touch on the kind of cottage industries, but mainstream album back-to-back. Yeah. What's your favourite? Is there something that you think is too long? Is too short? Yeah. You know?
And any concept. I mean, I love a concept album. Modern concept albums. Hit us up with those.
Be interesting. Yeah, I don't know too much about it. Well, really following on from that point, very similar. I think the point is that music is not... It's the worst it's ever been. Oh. It's depressing. I mean that in the sense that when people look back on this as a musical era, it will be largely forgettable. Now, straight away, I will say that doesn't mean there's not good musicians, there's not good bands, there's not good songs. Of course there is. There's phenomenal writers that do incredible things. There's phenomenal musicians. It's not that I don't enjoy it. I just think the modern mainstream music scene is so simplified and so materialistic,
oversaturated,
and corporate, and there's different elements to it. There's so many hands in the pot these days in terms of money, in terms of influence, in terms of sponsors. It's a real 360 kind of creative bubble of, if you're an artist, you're also an actor, and you're also a writer, and you also have to have a videographer, and you also have to be a brand. You can be a wrestler. You can be a stripper.
A horticultural master?
Yeah. A butterfly pimp. all kinds of things. There's a lot you've got to do, and I think a massive issue is overly produced songs for me.
Yeah.
I think it sucks the life and the organic feel of music. It's been overly produced. I mean, our ear is so tuned to produced music these days that if it wasn't to be as produced, well, there's some artists that aren't, granted, but even your acoustic singer-songwriters are still very, very produced. We would actually be baffled to hear, and people are, like people that don't see live music, that go and see live music, that are just used to, say, using Spotify, they're stunned that you can even play live music. It's a very strange thing.
I think it's something that I have friends of mine that, you know, go and see artists like Kendrick or rappers and Eminem, and I always ask them, so did they play with a live band?
Yeah.
And they always say, the ones that say yes, I said it, and I say, isn't that so much better?
Well,
they go, actually, it was.
Yes, it is every time, just dynamically, audibly, just sonically. It's got so much more weight behind it. Yeah. So I think that the big issue is everything's overproduced now. I think there is a lack of mainstream writers that do anything different. It's very easy to fall into the trap of, okay, well, they did it like this, it made money, so we're going to do it like this and made money. Yeah. Of course, there's people that do things differently, but mainstream writing-wise, people like Max Martin, who's written literally thousands of pop songs, from Britney to Christina, whatever.
Yeah,
it's him and his team writing all those songs, so they have his mark on them, which means, for much of the noughties at least, most songs in the charts were by him, so they sounded like a Max Martin song. So in that sense, creativity and difference, we're kind of looking at music through a keyhole now instead of through an open door. Yeah. So there's a lot of narrow-mindedness, because they go, we can't do anything different because we might not make money. It's all about money. It's always been about money. The industry's always been about money.
I would say maybe that's always been the case.
It has been, but there was a bit of leeway. Yeah. Now it's very much, well, we won't touch that because it's not, we don't believe it. We don't believe
I think there's a few things there that I would definitely agree with.
Yeah.
And linking back to the album lengths that I was talking about, we live in a throwaway culture.
We do, yeah.
Where nobody is, I think, and as well as that, music is easier than ever to do yourself and produce yourself, which is
fantastic for exposure.
Yeah. But one argument I'd say is there's too many. Making it before used to be a huge thing, and I think you can make it now.
You've honed your craft. This is the thing. You hone your craft in your bedroom for 2 weeks and get it on SoundCloud. Suddenly you're hired.
Which
is
not
great,
honing
your craft,
and terrible.
Yeah, it's not honing your craft. In the 50s, you were a one-take wonder. You had to be brilliant, otherwise you're out of there. Yeah. And your record ain't getting played. As simple as that. You're looking now and kind of reality TV, suddenly that pushes you, or SoundCloud numbers suddenly pushes you. Yes, it gives exposure to amazing artists, but it seems to be more often than not, it gives exposure to people that
they're popular for 3 months.
They're popular for 3 months and it's gone. And I think that devalues the industry and songwriting as a whole. You know, and another quick thing is that everything's so overplayed. Everything's paid to be playlisted. Right. Everything is drummed into you like robotics, and that frustrates me. I know some people love hearing the same song come on,
and it's the same hooks, it's the same chords,
it's the same writers.
I guess it's always been. We're at a point now where modern music is been around a long time, and there's only so many chords and notes.
No, of course there is, and you can never copyright a chord or a note, but it's just there's so much similarity now, you know, and it's when you hear it 10 times a day, then you go, oh, I hope they play another single, and then they do, and it sounds the same. Yeah. It really, it's quite upsetting, really. Just think of the vibrancy and the varied musicians and writers out there, and yet we're just getting a handful of the top ones, and they kind of sound a bit similar.
One thing I would say is that as I've got older, I believed the same thing in the 2000s.
Interesting.
And looking back now,
no, that was still pretty. Yeah,
I actually think varied. There is that the 2000s is known as the rebirth of guitar music.
Interesting.
In the early 2000s of indie, especially in Britain, but also in America with the Strokes and people like that.
Yeah,
and also the era of the great modern pop song.
Yeah. Well, I would agree with that.
You know, people like Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera. At the time, I thought this is just absolute drivel.
Yeah, well,
but actually, looking back, really great songs.
Yeah, great songs that stand the test of time, and that sort of, to wrap up this point, again, we could talk about it for hours, but are there songs being written now, mainstream, that will stand the test of time? Yes, there's some, but I would argue there's not that many.
I think it's the amount of media available that makes a song that's very popular now less likely to stand the test of time, whereas before there was just much less music.
Yeah, and a good song would stay afloat.
So yeah, I agree.
Difficult. I know, again, it's a very broad topic, but I think when we look back, we're going to kind of say sort of noughties might have ended that period of fantastic songs, and I'm interested to see where it goes, but just all be AI one day, wouldn't it, mate? Little robot music.
Wouldn't it, mate?
Everyone would be Daft Punk, mate, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Daft Punk little heads in jars playing flutes.
Yeah, let us know in the comments of let's say, who do you think will be revered in 10 years, 15 years that's popular now?
That's it. Yeah, exactly. I just don't know.
There are a few, but
drop
some on our doorstep and we might not have thought of them.
Yeah.
Top 3, I'd say, as much as I'm not a fan, Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, he's left his mark, but he ain't done nothing different.
No.
He was just him and a guitar when nobody else was doing that.
Yeah.
And then now everybody's doing it. You know what I mean?
Any from you? I've got one more, I think.
I mean, Adele is going to be, but that's just a lady and a piano. Again, that's not anything new, is it?
From very pop, I've got one, and I mean, I sing his praises constantly.
Go on.
Bruno Mars.
Bruno's great. He's a master of just, writing hooks. Yeah, Bruno's great.
With a live feel.
So here's someone that has done something interesting in that he is bringing that live feel and that funk and very throwback, familiar but different. He's done that very well. But don't know, man. There's not much out there that
hip hop is Kendrick.
Yeah, there's a few
one,
in hip hop, but you must agree there's quite a lot of dirge there as well.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, mumble rap,
the dirgiest dirge.
What can you do, mate?
With the bit with the
truffle butter,
with the mud,
twerk, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. We sound like moody old men, don't we?
Yeah. All the music sounds the same. It's just boom, boom. It all sounds the same.
I'm going to lay a fairly short one at your door.
Go on.
It's a inflammatory title.
Yeah.
Which I don't really mean, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Go on.
Punk was shit.
Oh my god, he's done a swear word.
It was manufactured. I'm going mainly for the Sex Pistols here. Let's admit they were the biggest punk band in the UK. It was manufactured drivel with no talent. It was important culturally, but musically, looking back, it was laughable.
I do often think, would we be in exactly the same place now if punk hadn't existed? And I sort of think probably yes. I mean, I like punk. I like the attitude of punk, and I like that punk influenced pop punk. Yeah. Because then we love bands like Blink, Green Day was a huge influence on me, as we've discussed before, etc.
But the thing with those bands, supremely talented. I mean, just those two bands.
They sort of gave musicianship to punk.
Two of the best drummers in rock history.
Yeah, Trey and Travis, yeah.
Whereas, I mean, there were...
So punk as a whole was...
Don't let me disparage bands like The Clash, who were amazing.
They were good, but... They only had a few good songs, really, didn't they? If you think about it.
Yeah, but Joe Strummer was
he was good,
very
but
talented songwriter.
There's some interesting writing to say that they themselves might have been a project of some labels, perhaps. They weren't quite as organic as we thought.
I think I'm going mainly at the Sex Pistols being the forefront of punk. They were a manufactured band by a label that only had one member with any talent, Glenn Matlock, who got fired for someone who...
You're saying you like the Beatles?
Who they... who at live shows they unplugged because he couldn't play bass guitar. Sid Vicious, the head of people have Sid Vicious posters.
Yeah,
he's a poser. He's an absolute poser.
Yeah, if you hear that, Sid, if you're out there,
and Nancy, There are great punk bands, don't get me wrong, and I love things
we
like...
We saw Stiff Little Fingers, didn't we?
Do you know what? They were
brilliant.
They were brilliant. Buzzcocks, good. But...
Ramones? You don't like Ramones, do you? My dad likes Ramones.
Not for me.
You know what turned me off the Ramones? All the T-shirts in Primark.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Who on earth got the rights to that logo?
That's a punk attitude.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Even the Ramones, I think.
Maybe I don't think
it's sped up rock and roll.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's shit. I think it's overrated, and I think that it's people hark back to that time as some kind of golden era, and I don't see it.
I was there when punk was starting.
Yeah,
when people were spitting on my face.
They were great.
It sounds horrible.
Great artists. I much prefer kind of the new wave of kind of
Who's the modern punk?
Goth punk in the 80s. You know, Susie and the Banshees. Bauhaus.
Yeah.
Well,
very different attitude,
punky.
I suppose, isn't it? Yeah.
Modern punk, pure punk. Not sure.
Difficult, isn't it?
People
I'd say I'm not really
hardcore and like Gallows and. Well, they're
punk,
quite old now.
Punk attitude again.
There is Idols.
Yeah. Billy Idol.
Idols are quite punky.
Yeah.
I love Slaves.
Yeah.
Anyone doesn't know them.
They're sort of punk.
They're pretty punk.
It is punk, isn't it? Yeah.
Although their new album at points sounds quite a lot like Blur.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is real punk fans will argue that's not punk at all.
No,
I think there's a strange allegiance to punk that's kind of like you don't get it. We were there. It's like, well,
yeah,
wouldn't want to be there.
But yeah, punk, come at me.
Punk, not that good.
Come at me, bro.
People can comment, say what you like about punk. Who's a punk band that perhaps we don't know about? That will transform our views of punk. But
yeah, I mean, I like people like Misfits and Descendants are okay, but come at me with a modern punk band, and I'll come at you with...
Would we be here without punk? I think probably, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get why punk happened.
Yeah. Thatcher.
No.
Taking me milk.
Not Thatcher. It was 79.
Tony Blair. Taking me milk. Was it him?
Get your British history right.
John Major.
No. It was, the 3-day week, Callahan... Frustration with wages. Ramones, I'm not sure the cultural significance of what kind of spurred on the Ramones. Apart from just taking an Elvis track and playing it on 45 RPM rather than 33 RPM.
Yeah. I don't know.
Not sure.
No, I don't know. They really liked like a lot of British bands actually the Ramones were inspired by. Like Bay City Rollers, bands like that. Ramones really like them. They're very British, but don't know, punk. Not that bothered. When have you ever gone, you know what, I want to stick on a punk album? I'm in the mood for some punk.
Yeah. People do. I mean, it's just not for me.
God save the Queen.
Yeah.
Fascist regime.
Yeah, not really, but okay.
Made me a moron.
Try living in a fascist country and say that the Queen's a fascist.
Yeah, now he's advertising butter. who knew?
Who's the fascist now?
Who's the fascist now, you slippery devil?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my 3.
Well, I suppose I shall wrap up with a short one.
Go on.
Music festivals are by and large rubbish. We've been to a few. Yeah. They're rubbish. Let me talk to you. They're loud, and yet you can't hear nothing. They're smelly because people stink, especially rock fans and metal fans. Yeah. They're expensive, buying food, getting in. I guess some are affordable, but they're still expensive. As live performance is what is keeping artists afloat in the age where you don't really make anything from streaming or downloads. Ticket prices are going up, and it's good for the artists, but it ain't good for my pocket. Yet more people, ironically, are seeing live music now than ever before. And yet it's more expensive. It's a strange thing. Merch is crazy expensive.
It is.
It's normally really dirty. And that sounds silly, but we've been to downloading things. It was pissing down. We were covered in mud. Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's a festival. It ain't that fun. It's not that fun. I'm coming home a trench foot like I've been in the war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It ain't that good, is it? You always end up feeling ill. You never eat enough. You think, well, I can't drink because I'm going to need a wee. I can't drink now. The Portaloo's over there.
I'm going to be stood at the front of the stage for 6 hours.
Well, I'm going to have to go for a wee every time I walk past because I ain't going to be able to go for 6 hours. The bloke next to you, he hasn't thought of that. He's just peeing.
He's pissing.
He's just peeing on the floor.
I'll tell you one thing. I mean, I'm not wholeheartedly there. I've loved some festivals.
You were at Glasgow. You've done loads. You've done a lot more than me.
I've done 2 Glasgows. I'll tell you the festivals I've hated.
Go on.
Reading and Leeds, and I went to Reading.
Reading just says in my head, hipsters doing drugs and then ODing on them.
Yeah.
And being sick in your tent.
And it's kids. It's 18, 19.
18-year-olds.
I hated it.
Everyone in the friendship group.
And when I was 18, 19, hated it.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah.
Download, I got to say, I've loved it.
We've had some good downloads, but we've still felt ill. We've still been... You nearly had a fight with some knob that was drunk. It ain't fun. It's like... No. We saw Guns N' Roses, we've seen loads of great bands, but like, it ain't that good. The sound isn't that good.
Yeah, I can agree with the sound, and the mud,
I much
and the
prefer
food,
it was personal,
and the merch.
Yeah, I much prefer just sitting in, having a nice quiet lunch, going out for a gig,
having a ploughman,
sitting in a nice theatre, watching a lovely band perform, and then I go, bravo, how much is your T-shirt? And they go, £10. I go, wonderful.
£10?
Wonderful, I'll take one of those.
Anyone?
And the leaflet for next time.
Can anyone let us know, home. Last time they paid £10, one for the golden oldies.
Yeah.
£10 merch. Yeah. How long ago was that?
I don't know.
30 quid now.
I know, it's a shame because I love playing festivals and we love... music incredibly, it's our life, but there's just, am I really excited to go to an outdoor festival with loads of strange people and pay all that money and have to pay more money and not really get what you pay for?
This is what I'm going to say,
you know what I mean,
in defense of festivals.
Go on.
It's expensive, but let's say this, so a day, so let's say a day at Download is 80 quid.
Yeah.
Let's say when we've been.
Yeah.
So 80 quid. That day we saw NXT.
Yeah, we saw some wrestling, didn't we? Yeah.
We saw Nightwish.
Yes.
We saw Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Whose tickets go for over £100. We saw Disturbed.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with that. It's not value for money if the lineup is good.
Well, okay, yeah, that's fine. If the lineup is good, it's value for money. Yeah, sure. I can get on board with that because in reality, I suppose the actual ticket price wise, it probably is.
If you would have had it all,
I think it's more the travel and then what you spend there that tips me over.
I think
that's what it is.
Yeah, the ticket is not the overall price.
And I think also briefly on that is some headliners shouldn't be headliners in my opinion for various festivals. I think the idea that whoever The Cure is still headlining is just like they won't play their best off because they don't. Stormzy after an album. You need to work your way up to a headline slot. Yeah, you can't have one album.
I think
it's just silliness.
That's an interesting point because there's 2 issues with headliners. One, that it's the same bands over and over and over again.
Oh, every year.
And 2, the new artists don't have enough material.
Yeah, totally. It's it's a strange kind of catch-22 there. But
we want to see new headliners.
I want to see new headliners. I was pleased to see Depeche Mode, I think, have headlined something. Isle of Wight, perhaps, which is great. But I'm going to go to some more festivals, of course I am. Yeah. But I much prefer a quieter gig, like an old man, really.
Yeah. As I've got older, I've quite enjoyed the sit down gig. I still really like to stand up, but I'll tell you what I have enjoyed standing up is the balcony spot.
Oh yeah. See, now you're talking. Yeah. See.
I mean, I used to be in the pit when I was younger and trying to get as close as possible, but
in a full suit.
Yeah, exactly.
Bit of
makeup. But the last few bands I've seen at clubs, Rock City and Nottingham, I've done the balcony. Oh, you can just take it all in. You can see everything.
Yeah, good view. Yeah.
And the sound it's definitely better further back. Yeah. Not so far at a festival.
Standing at the front,
you get shit sound.
Yeah,
it's
not
front.
good. You're next to an amp that's cranked up way too loud. You just can't hear anything.
Yeah.
No, I would agree. We'll go to some festivals. Actually, if anything, local festivals much prefer them. Smaller, we said before, seen the Darkness and Fratellis and things up at Splendour Festival up here at Nottingham.
Yeah, it's like
much nicer. A few hundred people there, or a few thousand people rather. You stood at the front, you can hear everything, you can see everything. Then if I want, I can just go and have a walk around, go to the toilet without queuing up for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Without shitting and pissing in a trough. I mean, Glastonbury, I've been twice and I got to say I loved it. But, it is grimy and dirty.
The festival experience just isn't for me. And also, I don't like camping. I think that probably plays a part. The day ticket's okay, but then I don't really like being around people that are camping because it's horrible.
Another
it's dirty
hot take.
And it's smelly.
Don't like campers.
No, carry on camping.
All right.
Never enjoyed camping.
Well, there's some opinions for you. Hit it up in the comments with anything.
Yeah. Do you like festivals? What's your favourite festival?
What's your dream? I'd love to do an episode of a dream festival lineup. Well, maybe we won't do that now.
Yeah.
But
if it was seated in a nice patio area, with some light refreshments coming round, I'd be interested.
Yeah.
I'd be interested.
I could go for that.
If anyone goes, have you brought wellies? I'm out.
Yeah.
No.
No, sir. Yeah. I went to the Glastonbury that was 2009, which was one of the rainiest.
You weren't there, man.
It was
Glastonbury 2009.
It was tough. And like you said,
we
did download 16 with Maiden.
Yeah.
And good lord, it was wet that day.
Wet. Didn't bring wellies, just trainers and shorts.
We wore trainers and shorts.
That'd be the one.
Got there with bin bags to wear. Realised too fat for that.
Yeah, we ran out of ponchos, so just got soaked through.
Should we just wear some bin bags? Oh, I'm squeezed in a bit tight.
This is squeaking.
Yeah,
horrible.
Let's take those off. Just get soaked.
Yeah,
be ill for 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's it. You always come home feeling rough as well, didn't you? How was it?
It was fine. Yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah, I got robbed. Yeah, not for me. We'll go next year though.
Yeah,
love it.
So that's going to do for Megaphone Mondays.
That's wrapped up our first ever Megaphone Monday. Yeah. I think the concept's got legs.
I think it's
got legs.
Got hot legs.
We haven't said hot leg band. We haven't said everything about everything, but the point is it's sparking debate.
Yeah.
We might come back to this.
Have a chat.
We might argue with you in the comments.
Yeah. You might hurt my feelings.
I might block you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's leave it there.
Yeah. Step down from your soapbox. Clean the megaphone. It's got a bit of festival mud on it.
Oh no. A little bit of piss. A little bit of sick.
Oh no. Lovely.
Well,
with that, I'm probably going to do a bit of sick and a piss now.
Yeah.
I've been Kenny. That's my ritual at the end of every podcast.
Sorry, I've been Kenny.
That's my ritual.
Sorry, I've been Kenny. Sorry, I've been Kenny.
I've been Jack.
Big time.
Peace out. Piss out.
Naughty. Shit, I can't stop it. I'll cut this.
Cut all this.
Yeah. Where is the fucking... I found it.